Now, Ronnie, you know my parents are traveling abroad right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what I went through to get them this cruise.
Says did a wonderful thing. He gave his parents a cruise to Russia.
It was they were flying to London. They get on the boat there. They cruise a little through Europe, and the destination is St. Petersburg, Russia. They even set up something where they could fly to Moscow from St. Petersburg as part of this trip. They've been gone forever. They've been gone about 3 weeks. So my father finally emails me from the boat of all these. They're supposed to hit all the Scandinavian countries, all kinds of places.
Now, the boat is the SS Uday.
Yeah, that's what they're sailing on. I get this email, and it says, Russia is off the itinerary.
Wow.
Finland is off the itinerary, and Estonia is off the itinerary. 3 different countries they were supposed to be able to visit on this cruise. The cruise line is telling the passengers these ports are iced in, and there's no way to get the cruise ship in there. This trip that, trust me, started out at one price that I was initially told, like probably, 6-8 months ago?
Right.
And has ballooned ever since with me writing check after check. My father, in his email, writes, what a ripoff.
No way.
He writes, what a ripoff in this email. This wonderful trip of a lifetime that I have busted my ass to provide.
All right, write down what the trip cost.
All right.
I won't say it.
So.
And I'll tell you whether you got ripped off or not. But I know that's got to hurt your feelings. I hate when someone's not happy with a gift, especially one that you put a lot into. So carry the...
Exactly. So...
But let me know, is this a piece for both of them?
This is for both. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to show you the original price will be on top.
Okay.
And what I've ended up paying is on the bottom.
Okay.
So that's a nice chunk of change. Because I had to keep as this trip kept getting planned, they were like, all right, the cruise ship is going to go through one of these canals. I don't know how Europe is set up. I didn't even know they had them. It's going to go through this canal, and we can get off the boat and go to Berlin, Germany, while the boat is going through the German canal, and then we meet the boat somewhere else. So, I mean, that was more money. This airline trip, this Soviet Airlines trip to Moscow was, an extra $1,000 to get them on there. And now Russia is out of the equation, and I get an email from this dream trip. What a ripoff.
Maybe if you would have went over there with a blowtorch and somehow cut through the iceberg.
Maybe that's what I needed. And the original cabin wasn't good enough because Mother needs a tub. She can't have a shower. Mother doesn't shower.
She couldn't fit that ass in the tub. And I don't mean...
All right.
But I'm trying to stick up for her.
I think it's the guy code. I think you're sticking with me.
I know. I'll tell you, normally I like to bust your balls about things because it interests me. I get people to come in here and breathe on you with their stank breath. But this time I actually kind of feel bad.
So I don't know what to do about this. Corky, my older brother, is of course furious, who was supposed to go in on it with me, and I haven't seen dime one.
You're kidding me.
No.
You're not going to get that money from... This is the person you thought was going to help?
Let me tell you something. I'll be goddamn.
Ronnie, I have to wait till his bonus comes in.
His bonus. Last year I remember his bonus was a whistle.
And he loved it.
I know, but that's not going to help you.
So I don't know if anyone's ever been on a cruise when something gets canceled. I mean, Russia was the point of this trip.
All right, let me just tell you this. People do not like to give money back. That's why they're taking them to some other port.
Yeah, that's to make up for Russia. There's 3 countries that got X'd off the itinerary. To make up for that, they're taking them to the Netherlands.
And I'm sure that when you sign that thing, or whatever you got, if ports can't be done, blah, 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 you're not going to see a dime back.
They're not even going to give them like a gift certificate towards another cruise or something on the way out the door?
They might. If they look at your mom, they might give her a ham to have on the airplane on the way back.
They will not give my mother pork products.
And she'll take it. No, I don't see them doing that. Maybe they will, some kind of discount thing. But I never know anybody who likes to hand back cash.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen in this world. So, I mean, it was like a church trip. It was organized through the church. The pastor was going to preach in a church in Russia.
Like they need him. That's always bugs me. They're always trying to go somewhere else and preach.
So that was going to be the whole gist of the trip, to get to the former Soviet Union.
Wow.
And nothing.
You get effed over 6 ways to Sunday now on a church trip. I mean, didn't church trips used to just be to the shore?
Yes.
When did it, somebody had to be splashed in the water and brought back? When did they have to go to Russia? I remember when you were putting this together, I go, Russia is not going to be thawed out by May.
Yeah, we were talking about that. You say, when is this trip? If they go now, Russia's frozen.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, it's not till May. Like Mother Russia thaws.
It's barely warm around here right now. I'm still freezing my ass off. I'm wearing a coat in here.
So no Russia on this trip. Yes, Mikey.
But don't you get the money that you spent for the flight to go to Moscow? Don't you get that money back because it was not used?
That I would probably have to get from my parents, and I doubt if I'm getting that handed back either.
That money got smoked. That went in his dad's bowl.
When they went to Germany on this trip, part of the email was, I bought a piece of the Berlin Wall, and I'm thinking, someone has handed him a piece of concrete, and he thinks it's the Berlin Wall. He's getting ripped off left and right over there.
Now, are your parents always difficult to please?
I would say mother, obviously more than father, but yeah, they're pretty difficult to please.
Yeah. I've never been able to please my parents about anything.
There's
grandkids. I did okay with that. I go, here, hold this. And they're all happy. But nothing I personally have done? No, forget about it.
Yeah, I've never been able to get them anything that there wasn't a better version of it coming out, or a friend or a neighbor has something a little more special.
Or the one that you gave them, they can't make it work.
Right. Remember when my mother wanted the kitchen retiled?
Yeah, do I.
For Christmas. So I give her the money, I go get the kitchen tiled. Then it's like, well, gee, this is nice, but, the rest of the foyer there is going to look stupid if it doesn't have tile. It was never good enough. I had to write double that amount to get more tile. As she waddles across it, snapping them left and right.
All right, so the question here is how to make you feel better.
Yes.
You got to just start saying, here's cash, I don't care what you do with it.
Just take it.
And you would be cheaper. If you said, here's $2,500, they'd be like, hey, we just got $2,500. But it'd be easier if you try to get them something, and then they keep trying to soup it up every time you throw it in. Everything's got to be tricked out to the max with them.
With that, Corky, my older brother, is already talking about, what the next cruise they might like? And he wants to send them to Greece next. Mikey D's going to have to go with him, because I'm not sending him alone again.
Take him to Mikey's house. And say, here, spend a half an hour here.
Tell him they're in Greece.
I'll put on the Greek music.
Half of it looks like Greece, and the other half looks like Grease the musical. When's Corky going to come up with some of this cash?
I have no idea.
Are you going to bring it up to him?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But he says for their next big anniversary, let's send them to Greece. They're not back from Russia. That didn't happen yet.
Where's your sister and your other brother with this?
My little brother, you know him. He's not going to fork over a dime.
I don't blame him. I think he's the smart one so far.
Yeah.
And your sister?
And my sister is usually on the outside of these plans.
She's still having sex with that guy from the church, right?
Yes. Yes, Ronnie, she is.
Now, do you... I'm just really, when I think about that, I'm wondering what position your sister gets in.
All right, do not think about my sister and that guy, please.
Because she's butchy. And she's so light.
I don't think I've ever had a comfortable moment where you and my sister were in the same room together. The tension that's there, the sexual tension, I'll admit it's there.
Yeah, but that's only because it's with anybody with your sister.
It is not.
Your sister's a dirty talker.
How would you know that?
I talked about some things.
Dirty?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to hear this.
Would you get mad if I had phone sex with your sister?
Yes, I would get mad if you had the phone sex with my sister.
All right, forget it. I was going to tell you a funny story, and now it's off. Forget it.
I don't want to hear this funny story.
Believe me, I was cracking up. I got it on tape somewhere.
Get rid of those tapes. For heaven's sake.
Found them on eBay.
Oh, God.
So I feel bad.
His sister.
Seriously, I do feel bad for you about... I hate to do that same thing with the president. It doesn't work out.
It's awful.
And I tell you right now...
And it's through no fault of mine. If anything, I've gone above and beyond.
I know everybody makes a big thing about family, but it's never given me any happiness. I can get along with strangers and acquaintances. It's the family that drives me nuts.
You know why? Strangers and acquaintances appreciate you.
Maybe your family takes you for granted.
I think they do.
Well, you know, when you were younger and they used to send you on cruises, you enjoyed it, right?
They never sent me anywhere. Sat home summer after summer.
You didn't even take vacations much, did you?
No, we very, very rarely took a vacation. When my little brother Travis, when the baby was older, then they started going on vacations. But they weren't taking all of us.
I know you're disappointed, but let me ask you this.
Yes.
And really try to be honest.
Okay.
Do you think you're trying to buy your parents' love?
No.
The fact that you're doing something that your one sister wouldn't do, your other brother wouldn't do. I mean, I'm sure for the same anniversary, they probably got them, you know, oven mitts or something like that, or, you know, lawn darts.
Right.
And then here comes, and, you know, your one brother's like, yeah, I'll get it, but, you know, he's not.
Exactly.
Why are you going so above and beyond? Why are you getting your parents a world cruise? What are you trying to prove right now? What are you trying to get from them?
I am not trying to prove or get anything from them whatsoever. It would have been nice to make them happy, but at this point I have to realize that's just not happening.
Okay. How much money do you think it takes to make them happy? Because you're trying to do this with money.
It's all I've got.
Rory, what do you think about what I'm saying? Do you think when someone gets such an extravagant... And this happens time and time again with you and them, Fezzie. And they're never happy.
Never.
You're always disappointed. You're in a blue funk. I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to do with this. Is he trying to buy love?
It sounds like it, yeah. It sounds like he's trying to buy his parents' love by showering them with gifts.
I'm trying to make them happy, those two old coots.
Why don't you do this, Fez? Why don't you just say to them, what will it take for you to accept me?
Why would I say that? They do accept me.
I don't know.
I'm their son.
I know that you're their son, but they have two other sons that, let's trust it, ham, here's eggs. They have a daughter, God knows what she's done with every person at that parish.
All right.
What is it about you that has to, and they give them all the same love as you, probably more. From what I've seen, they get more than you.
Well, Corky lives with them.
Well, he's the favorite, he's the firstborn, he's missing an eye. What is it going to take for you to finally say, just me is enough? Just Fez Marie Watt?
I don't feel I have the need to say that.
What's this trip then? What does this trip represent?
This is a nice thing for my parents.
Nice or pathetic?
Nice. Why would it be pathetic?
The attempt to buy love.
I am not trying to buy their love. They're in their golden years. I'm trying to do something nice for them.
Yet you're not happy. You haven't done it.
They never would have been able to go on this wonderful trip without me.
Wonderful is a ripoff.
Well, it was supposed to be wonderful. Then we got screwed out of Russia. Literally.
All your parents are going to remember is how ripped off this was and how disappointing.
I don't think it's going to be totally like that.
Rory, what do you think? What would you do if you were a
I think he should just be able to, make a card for him. You know, just
make a card?
That should be enough because...
What am I, 5?
But that's it. That's all the love that, you're pouring it out.
Maybe if you made something instead of bought something.
I mean, just throwing money at them, that's not
write
love.
a poem.
I am not going to write them a poem. I am not going to make a card like I'm in the first grade.
But that's something that's pouring out of your heart.
That would be from you instead of your wallet.
The trip was from me, not my wallet. If I thought the trip was too much, I would have told Corky, no, this is a bad idea. I'm not in.
Here's what's so pathetic. You actually sit here writing prices down and showing me.
You asked me to do that.
I thought you wanted me to. I thought I was following along.
You asked me for those prices.
What if you did this?
What?
What if you saw a therapist
Why would I see a therapist? Because I gave my parents a cruise.
Parents that don't love you.
They love me fine. I'm Fez.
Would they have not liked you less if you didn't get them this cruise?
What?
What does that even mean, double negative?
If you didn't get them this cruise, you think they wouldn't have loved you as much as they did beforehand?
They don't love me more because I gave them a cruise. Are you a maniac?
It just seems like that's what you were trying to get.
Are they still bringing up your weight?
Yes, it comes up occasionally.
Why you're not married?
And happens to come up on occasion. I have a fiance.
Your mom ever meet him?
Her.
Oh.
Both my mom and my fiance are hers.
I'm just wondering.
What are you wondering?
Because it's not your fault.
What?
It's not your fault.
What's not my fault?
It's not your fault. Look at me. It's not your fault.
What isn't my fault? I don't understand.
I thought he'd be crying by now. I just saw that Goodwill Hunting. They always cry.
That only works in the movies. That doesn't work in real life.
All right, let's take a break, Fez. While we're out, why don't you run out and buy your mom a diamond necklace and see if that doesn't make up.
I am not buying her a diamond necklace.
Hey, we got a bad guest coming up next.
I love a bad guest.
Maybe you can buy them a trip.
I am not giving the bad guest a trip. Who do we have, Rory?
We have Lawrence Gordon. He has been living...
A fisherman?
Now, Lawrence Gordon, he was Lucy's boss.
Oh. That's Gail Gordon.
He's been living in a haunted house for 18 years.
What?
And he's been able to communicate with three ghosts who live in the house. One who's Roger, who's a friendly teenager.
I thought that was Casper.
Another one, Mr. Willis, who's an older man who doesn't really speak much, but is dressed in all black all the time.
Sure.
And then Sarah, an 8-year-old from 1918, and she's somehow trapped in the house. And he believes that these people are trying to teach him about the supernatural and everything.
Has he written a book, or what's he pushing?
He's written 2 books. First book was User Friendly, The Ghost Chronicles Volume 1, and the second book, Haunted High, The Ghost Chronicles Volume 2.
That sounds like a Nancy Drew thing.
And he's working on a third right now.
Oh, by the way, I tried to watch that Scooby-Doo movie today.
I still haven't tried. How is it?
I could not make it 12 minutes into it.
Wow. I'll have to see if I can beat your record.
They're not even acting like the Scooby-Doo people.
Man, that stinks.
That Freddie Prinze Jr. acts exactly like Freddie Prinze Jr.
What a jerk.
He acts like that the guy from Scooby-Doo is dumb. I didn't get it at all. Stop it. Go ahead. What were you saying?
He's also working on a third book, Living with the Dead, How to Survive Life in a Haunted House.
All right. Well, we'll come back and talk with him and let all the characters call in.
Bad guest coming up next. 866-277-4969.
We're Ron and Fez.